Hi there, my name is Jessica Alicia and I am with Mapping Awakening. And I am a passionate human about healing and awakening. So also my top passion is embodiment. So when I talk about awakening, I'm really referring to awakening one's potential to be more authentically embodied in their essence, into their more pure nature of being. And so in order for us to really attain this embodiment of our essence, which we can say a lot about what that means to be embodied in our essence, but it's really having this more conscious relationship to your energetic system, of how you're sensing and how you're feeling as a human, and also having a more open-hearted energetic system, or we could say resonance. So there's more of this open spaciousness in your presence on the planet. And with that, there come, more beautiful skills, and your spiritual gifts can start to come online. So that's just for this moment, a little brief explanation of what that is. But I want to talk a bit about the challenges that arise. So being a human is difficult. We know this. Why is it difficult? Because of impermanence, right? Because things are constantly shifting and changing. And this is happening on the energetic level. So our energy body is constantly shifting and changing based off of the environment, and how the environment is interfacing with energetically with the energetics, the energy field of the DNA, we could say. So our environment informs our gene expression. This has been discovered through the field of epigenetics. And so, meaning that certain things in our environment can turn certain genes on, and turn certain genes off. So when this is happening, so our genetics are constantly in flux with what's happening in our lived experience and our environment. And what's in our DNA is it is the past. It is the past timelines of the planet. It is the ancestral timelines, ancestral memories, and such. It is your own soul's record of past lives that are in that field of energy. And as well, there's the collective experiences that have been occurring in the collective field of consciousness. So this also makes it complex being a human and difficult. And also that it informs that impermanence. And so our systems are always being pushed and pulled into different states and places based off of the way the environment is interfacing with the software system of our DNA. So for us to become more whole and more embodied in our essence, we really need to begin to learn how to sense and feel what we're experiencing with more equanimity, we can say, with more acceptance, with more allowance, with less identification. So what does that mean, to be less identified with something? That means that something can happen to you. You can experience unpleasantness, but you're not gonna cling to it as yours. You're not energetically, your field isn't pulling it in and taking it on as yours. But you can be with it and you can see, this is just phenomena. This is unpleasant phenomena. But your ego isn't attaching to it and saying, this is mine. This is informing who I am. I'm a bad person because of this, or I'm a depressed person because I feel this. No, we're not depressed. We're just experiencing this phenomena of depression that is processing through our field. or it's attempting to process because it has come up to the surface. So that's really key in evolving as a human and learning to heal and support these energies and discharging and releasing. So I was inspired to speak about this because yesterday I had a lot of depression come up in my body, in my system, that I hadn't really experienced for some time. And I used to experience depression regularly. So this was something that I have dealt with my whole life. And, you know, depression has been in my maternal lineage. It's in my paternal lineage too. I think it's in all of our maternal and paternal lineages, but more specifically in the maternal lineage, more obvious, I guess you could say. I grew up with my mother depressed and went through electric shock treatments such as her grandmother, so my great-grandmother. So this is kind of, you know, this has been in the obvious in the system, the family system, not like something hidden. And so that has informed my genetic expression, right? Because that's been in my field, in my environment, and then my system goes into that state. It's learning from what's in the environment, and those environmental conditions are creating a reaction in my consciousness, you can say, my chitta, my heart, mind consciousness, and energy system. So what happened yesterday? For this depression to arise, well, there were some different conditions that came, and I have been going through some purification of some other things. When I'm talking about purification, I'm talking about something in my environment triggered energy from the past, whether it was mine, my past life, my ancestral, the collective. It doesn't really matter where it comes from. It's just knowing how to work with that. But that came up to the surface, and so I've been kind of processing that, sitting with it, welcoming it, allowing it, getting to know it, going into it more. But yesterday I did teach a restorative and yin yoga style yoga class. And that is a very, I don't do well teaching those classes anymore because there's a lot of that depression energy in the field, where students are just relaxing, but they're going into a more unconscious state of relaxation versus this more ventral state of relaxation where there's like this, I heard a teacher recently say vibrant tranquility. So we want that vibrant tranquility relaxation to come online for things to regulate and process out of the system. But when we go into this other state of relaxation, a stillness, kind of like when we go into sleep mode, that's more of an unconscious relaxation. And then that's more mimicking of a depression. And so I'm very sensitive to those energies because of my history, right? What I was just talking about, my upbringing and being exposed to that and it being in the lineage. So my system kind of went into a deep depression state. And what happened? What happened when I went into this deep depression state was that my body became very tense, very rigid. So my tissues in my body, my legs, started to freeze up, and my arms freezing up, my hands and my feet, I lost sensation in them. They became very heavy. What happened in the mind was that I was going into very darker states of consciousness where I was seeing things through more of a negative lens. There was sense of hopelessness and despair and just feelings of inadequacy and not good enough, and things of that nature. And that's not normal. That's not how I normally sense and feel myself in my body and in the world, in my life. But that's how I used to. And I was really able to see the difference. Like, wow, I used to feel like this all the time. I would titrate, right, from there into like a fight-flight response, into a different energetic state and conscious state. So what did I need to do was, I went on a walk, which was very difficult. I wanted to go into the bed. So I wanted to lay in the bed because I was already in this depressed response. So I wanted to lay in bed. But no, I was able to find a little bit of power, and I went on a walk. So I went to a park with my dog, and I walked, and then I sat on the earth and took my shoes off and grounded and earthed and just kind of sat there and meditated and really welcomed what was present. And the earth helped me. Being outside in nature, being in this more expanded field above me, I could tune into some spaciousness around me. I could tune into the way the earth felt beneath me, and I could tune into the joy that my dog had in just being out in the park and watching other people and dogs walk by. Those were resources for me to be able to sit and actually go more deeply into what I was feeling and experiencing. So that started to regulate me a little. It wasn't fully. Like, I was still having I didn't want to talk to anyone. I didn't want to make eye contact with people at the park. This is what happens when we're dysregulated. Our social engagement system goes offline in this way. So then I got home, and I started rolling out my body. So I started using these yoga tune-up balls. This is from Jill Miller's model of tune-up, yoga tune-up. So using tune-up balls to actually land into that freeze that was in my legs and my arms and my hands and my feet and all through my body, really. So I was just starting to roll into my body and open up the energy body, open up the fascial system, because the fascial matrix, the connective tissue of the body, that is what is interfacing with everything, we could say. For one, your DNA is sensing through the fascia about the environment. And then the fascia is communicating into the DNA about what's happening. And then the DNA, those genes, those good genes turn on, or the bad genes turn on, or whatever is happening. It's that switchboard, that's where that's taking place. So a strand of fascia runs into the nucleus of every cell, and within the nucleus of every cell is your DNA, as well as your mitochondria, which are also sensing the field, the environment. Additionally, your nervous system. Your nervous system then, so the DNA then processes through what's happening and sends resonance in through the somatic nervous system of the body. And so the body changes shape and form based off of what's happening in the environment. Do we need to contract and protect? Or can we be open and safe and spacious? So that's what's happening within the body. And when there was a contraction, there became too much contraction where the energy body just got depleted, and then that's when I went to that freeze response for the depression. So I had to open up my tissues. I had to bring malleability back into them. So I had to loosen them up. I had to open the field. And working with the fascia, there's different ways to work with the fascia. But there's ways to be skillful with it and ways that aren't so helpful. So learning about which pathways are going to be really key in getting different systems connected, getting the whole matrix open is going to be key. And so that's something that over the last 10 years, we can say, that I have been really studying through my own healing journey and experiences, and also working with other people through body work. So today I'm feeling much better. I'm feeling, I don't have the heaviness. I don't have the depression. I'm feeling more motivated, hence me making this video. So that's good. So I was able to take care of myself in those ways, and to move my body, to get out in nature. To then also, another thing that really helped me was connecting with my partner. So we were able to sit down, and I was able to really start to move towards making eye contact with him and opening up the relational field. So being more attuned to our relational field, and my heart started to come back online, and that was really nourishing for me. And so then I was able to get some good sleep, wake up, and getting back towards a more whole part of myself. So I just wanted to share that little journey and the ways that you can begin to work with your system through connecting with nature, connecting with a loved one in an open way, really finding that power within yourself to move towards what is unpleasant, to move towards caring for yourself. Because when we go into our dorsal response of our autonomic system, or freeze response, you can say, where there's depression, it's very hard for us to do things that are going to nourish us and support us in coming out of that state, because there's just not a lot of energy, right? And there's a lot of self-identification, which is gonna compound the lack of energy and make things worse. So I'm gonna be here to support you. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I am supporting individuals in learning how to awaken their personal power and working with their body's fascial system directly to titrate into different states of consciousness, we can say, and to support your own human evolution. So thanks for watching, and please leave any comments that you may have or questions. I'm really excited to be waking up and sharing more wisdom with the collective for our ascension into a higher realm of consciousness that's more enlightened and more loving and connected. So blessings to you and your beautiful healing journeys and spiritual awakening. Bye.